Hey guys, it's Connor here. I'm a GMB trainer based in Melbourne, Australia, and today my client Kaye is going to demonstrate a hip mobility sequence. In the lying hip rotations, she's pushing the knee away from herself 10 times, and on the 10th rep, she's going to do a static hold. You can hold a static hold anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, and ideally you'll repeat this 3 times per side. For the piriformis stretch, you're going to stay on your back and then cross the leg over the others. The left leg goes around the right leg here. And in this position, you're pulling your knee to the opposite shoulder. So again, you're going to pull 10 times. And on the 10th rep, you're going to do a static hold again. And this stretch is going to hit the piriformis predominantly. The next pose is the butterfly stretch. This is a position you've probably seen before, and it's a position that a lot of people struggle with, especially if they have tight hips. So even if you can't bring your knees to the ground, you can still get a really good stretch in this position. And here you can see Kaye pushing her knees away from each other, bringing them as close to the ground as possible, and then doing a static hold for 15 to 30 seconds. This is just showing it from the front view, and if you find you're very restricted in this position, you can elevate your hips with a yoga block also. The frog pose is a fantastic movement for opening up the adductors. This is also a really good prep pose before you do the pancake. In this position, Kaye is making sure that her hips don't go past her knees, and she's pulling her belly button up into her lower back, making sure she doesn't go into extension in the lower back. And then from there, she's moving her hips back to the wall behind her and then rocking forwards 10 times. On the 10th rep, roughly, she's doing a static hold of 15 to 30 seconds and repeating this for 2 to 3 rounds. The next exercise is kneeling lunge. This is a fantastic movement if you spend most of your day sitting, as the hip flexors tend to get very tight, and this movement addresses the hip flexors. So Kaye is setting herself up with her front knee at 90 degrees, and then she brings the back knee back to a point where she's feeling a stretch along the front of that right hip. And again, she's moving forwards and backwards 10 times and then holding it for 15 to 30 seconds. If you want to get more of a stretch along your obliques, along the side of the body, you can reach the arm overhead. In the traveling butterfly, you're setting yourself up in a long sitting position, so you look like the letter L from the side. And from there, you're bringing your hips into the butterfly position. You're keeping your feet pushing against each other the whole time, and you're keeping your shoulders pulled down away from the ears. This can be challenging in the beginning, so if you want to break it down and stop halfway and then finishing out the movement, you can. With squatting internal rotations, this is quite a challenging movement, and if you've any history of knee issues, this might be best avoided. So you're popping down into a squat position and focusing on internally rotating and bringing the knee as close to the ground as possible and alternating between left and right. You can also, as Kaye is demonstrating here, support yourself with your hands behind your back, and this will require less mobility through the hips and ankles and take a lot of the pressure off the movement. Here Kaye is showing the modified pigeon variation, and she's setting herself up with her front knee at 90 degrees. She's bringing the back knee up to her front heel, and then she's lining her sternum up in line with that front knee. So all the time she's focusing on keeping pressure through the front knee and the front ankle, and she's actively hinging forward from the hips, so the spine is staying straight. If you want to make this position a bit more challenging, you can go into the full pigeon where you extend the leg behind, and as you can see, Kaye is using her hand to kind of rotate her hip forwards to really focus on getting into that left glute even more.